Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests includes investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
I'm literally getting my mom back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I was losing her, so, for whatever reason, whether it was because of 3 of these or not, I'm getting my mom back.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm so grateful.
Wow. And you're crediting it to this, or there's a big part of that? You really are?
It started happening when this started happening.
Wow.
And then I saw something happen with skin lesions just falling off my friend's body. And I'm like, okay, it's not a placebo. This is real.
Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. And as always, thank you so much for your energy exchange with us today. And we hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are also having the most fortunate day today. So look at that smile, right? Do you recognize that smile?
Look familiar? Does anybody we know look like her?
Anyone that looks like her?
With maybe darker hair, just a tad longer.
You all have been seeing our soul sister. We've been hanging out with Danielle Matthews a lot, and she's been hanging out with us and really helping us on this ASEA journey. This is Danielle's creation. This is the beautiful spirit, Lynn Matthews, who's Danielle Matthews' mother, who really is the one who's they work together. It's amazing. It's cool because they do a lot of great stuff, and a lot of you probably already have met her through her Facebook group, Team Dragonfly. Which is so supportive about those of you who are really taking on the 5D economy, which is becoming abundant by helping other people become abundant. So thanks everybody as always for hanging out with us. You can always watch us or download the app on the phone, and you can watch us on Roku TV, and all of the links will be in the description below. Team Dragonfly's links will be in the description below, all the support and all that good stuff. What am I missing?
From wherever you're watching, please take a quick second, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and kindly share the video. We would all surely greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. So Lynn Matthews, how are you?
The famous Lynn Matthews.
I'm just so humbled. It's just wonderful to be here.
You're great. I mean, we've been on such a mission, if you would, this about the 5D, we call it the 5D economy. Just again, it's just, it's again helping people become abundant, about helping yourself become abundant by helping other people become abundant. And you are just so in the forefront of that and doing such an incredible support with that. So I want to talk about, obviously, because this is such groundbreaking technology with what's happening right now, and it's such a unique personal experience for everybody. And I think that's what we're finding out, and I think that's what maybe you can help us along the line here today with that part of it. Because I think, we want to try to get people to not put this in a bottle, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah, but really like, hey, this is your own unique journey. I mean, is that how you see it? Am I saying that right?
You absolutely are, because every body is different, right? And so you never know when you bring something like this in, how it's going to manifest in your life, what's going to show up, how long it's going to take even. Just in our family, when this was brought to us, for me, it was 6 weeks before I saw something. My husband was 2 weeks. Danielle was 3 months. So everyone is different, and how it comes and how it shows up in your body is going to be different.
Why did it occur? Why did it come to you? What was going on in your life at that time that this ASEA was drawn? You literally drew it to you.
We did literally draw it to us. I have been in wellness for a long time. Part of my background is that I train yoga teachers, and I teach a lot of meditation and spirituality and things like that. And when I was doing that, I had a studio in the DC area, and worked with a lot of different practitioners in the wellness world, the holistic world, the integrative world. And in 2012, as many people know Danielle's story, right? Danielle was hit by a drunk driver. And at the time, we thought maybe it was just a concussion, you know, she'd get better. But as the months were going on, she was not getting better. So I started to tap into this incredible network of healers. And my dad was a physician, so we had kind of Western medicine covered, but no one was finding anything that was bringing her back to what she had been. And it was actually 2 years into this journey of recovery that one of my students, who's an acupuncturist in Annapolis, Maryland, brought this to me. And she said, you know, I've been working with this. I brought it into my practice. All my patients, my clients seem to be benefiting, all in different ways. She said, and I really think it can help your daughter. And I have to tell you, I don't know what Danielle has completely shared, but she was very skeptical.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Come across, right? Because most people have not heard of this thing called redox.
Were you skeptical at this point too?
You know, it's funny, I was not. I just intuitively felt maybe this was the missing link. Plus, I knew this person. I trusted this person, right? And so I honestly did no research initially. But Danielle was very skeptical. She didn't want to try it. And to be honest, I mean, it was a tough 2 years. People, I don't think, really comprehend what she was going through. And so we had tried so many things. I didn't want to push it on her, but I was having a struggle with my hands. I was bone on bone in every finger. This is about all I could do to make a fist. And it was very hard to even, you know, tie my shoes, push covers off myself at night because of the discomfort. So I thought, what the heck, I'll try it. So I actually started to drink it, knowing not a lot about it. Within 6 weeks, I could make a fist.
Wow.
And then my husband kind of saw that and he said, maybe I should be drinking this stuff. Now he's great health. He's an athlete. In college, he played football and he had had a career-ending injury. He had torn some ligaments. And back then they didn't do arthroscopic surgery. They just removed cartilage.
Yeah,
so he was
rip it out.
Exactly. So he would wear a brace whenever he was doing yard work or running or doing some of his activities. Within 2 weeks, and I'll never forget, because I was visiting my parents in Florida and I get this text, I just ran without my brace, you know. And that's when we sat Danielle down and said, you know, what if this is what we've been looking for? And this, obviously, you know, it took 3 months, and she has said, you know, if I had been more open-minded at the time, I might have noticed little things shifting, because that's what I would tell everyone. You know, we all have in our minds what we want to see happen, whether it's in our health, our vitality, when we start to, you know, replenish these molecules. But your body has its own timeline. There are things that might be happening beneath the surface that it needs to take care of before maybe your back discomfort, right? Yeah. And so I would just say you've got to be patient. You know, for Danielle, it was a solid 3 months, but it was
in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long.
Exactly. And think about how long it took you to get where you are today.
Yeah.
You're a little kid. It has taken decades for most of us to be where we are today. Yeah. And so you've got to give your body a chance.
That's,
you know?
that's right. You do.
Give the body a chance.
For sure. What was it like for you as a mom seeing Danielle, who was vibrant, healthy, energetic, athletic, go through this traumatic trauma that was literally altering the course of her life?
It was heart-wrenching, I will say. Here it is 10 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was, you know, such a high-performing person. And it was devastating.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my mind around that. Did you ever lose hope? Did you think, Jesus, she's going to have to live like this the rest of her life?
No, there were times, you know, in meditation and prayer, and just, I knew something was going to be coming out there. I knew there had to be something. There was no way because Danielle, from the time she was little, was just this bright light. I mean, just as a child, you could just see it, the way she approached life. And so I knew this was not her path, right? This was put in her way for a reason. And that once we found what was going to help her, the world would open for her. So I knew, and because honestly, the neurologist at a year told us this was her new normal. And I remember thinking, how dare you tell a 24-year-old, right, that this is her new life? And I thought, no, there's something out there. We even had we bought her a journal because, you know, when you're in that space and it's your brain that's affected, you just, it's such a strange space to be in. And so there was a lot of depression, there was a lot of anxiety. So we had a journal that the cognitive therapist suggested, and throughout the pages, I had written some inspirational quotes and different things. And then every day she would write, you know, even little things she was grateful for. You know, I took a walk with the dog, or I did this, or I did that. And it's all those little things that help you have hope, that you know that something, so as you guys know this, what you put out, you get. So if you know that something is coming, it's coming. It's just divine timing. You know,
we've been calling this the elixir of the gods, and we've been doing show and calling it the elixir of the gods.
Thank you.
Is there a sense of you that felt like maybe for Danielle, your daughter, your family, that it was that the gods, if you would, or a version of God, or your faith, that maybe had or had that experience to really catapult her being a leader in getting this kind of technology out to the world and letting the world know that this is a thing? Do you ever think in terms of that, or that could have been a possibility?
Oh, there was absolutely divine intervention in bringing this into our lives and to help both myself and Danielle. Because it's funny, because when she had recovered and she kept saying, you know, I want to do something that has meaning. And I kept saying to her, you know, well, I think you should join me in ASEA. I said, this is impacting lives around the world. It'll give you the time freedom you want. It'll just, I think it's what you want. I'll never forget, because she was so skeptical, as many people are. It's an industry that has had some negativity associated with it, but this company, I think, stands alone. The product absolutely stands alone. And we were moving from Maryland to Arizona, and she drove with me across the country. And there was an ASEA event right after we moved. And I said, you need to come and just see what this company is about. And she said, I will come once. And then I don't ever want you to mention the business to me again. And we went, and one of the reasons I love this company is, you know, the ethos and the culture, and the fact that they are so about people and being a force for good in the world, exactly what you all were saying at the beginning. And we sat there, and about halfway through the day, because the first day was 8 hours of just the ethos, an hour on each of the 8 components. And Danielle leaned over and she said, I see why you love this company. I want to be part of it.
You know, I've actually, you know, we've been meeting a lot of people, and the privilege to, you know, meet a lot of people like such as yourself that have really just taken the journey with this. And you know what I noticed with everybody, it's like everybody's in a just like there's no weird vibes. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like everybody's high really vibes. Everybody's authentic. Just like really, like there's none of that weird energy. You know when you feel people's energy.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I don't know if this is rewiring that platelet in the brain that causes that, or whatever it's doing, but keep taking it, I guess. But you notice that too?
Totally. And I want to tag on that, because I hear a lot of people, and I hear Danielle saying, and I don't know why I never really had a chance to ask her, but she talks about this breaking the brain barrier.
Blood-brain barrier.
Blood-brain barrier. What exactly does that mean? And what happens when that happens?
So that's a great question. So physiologically, your brain is protected, which makes sense, right? Because it's critical. It's the command center for your body. So there's a barrier. And so most things that you ingest, many medications, even forms of glutathione, they don't cross that blood-brain barrier. It's a protection. But the molecules in ASEA, because they are native to the body, they're the same redox molecules that all of your cells make, they naturally cross the blood-brain barrier, which is why we're seeing things like brain injury, right? With Danielle, helping the body heal things that have to do with the brain. even emotional things. It's really quite remarkable. And that's why, because they're only 2 atoms big, 2 to 4 atoms big. They're tiny, tiny molecules. So they easily cross through that brain, blood-brain barrier and can impact the brain.
Can you explain, I heard actually, Danielle, and you talking about it yesterday on one of the shows that you did, what the reductants and the antioxidants, how does all that work within this blue bottle?
So redox is just a contraction of the word reductant and oxidants. They're positively and negatively charged ions, basically. The reductant side, well, let's talk about the oxidant side first, because for decades we've heard about antioxidants and how you have to have lots of antioxidants, but they kind of missed the mark, and that they went all the way. It's like going to one extreme, right? Bodies, we need a balance. You have to have oxidants, because oxidants are how the cells talk to each other. That's the communication system. Okay. So you've got to have a balance. When it gets out of balance and you have too much oxidation and too much oxidative stress, right? That's when you have a lot of problems and a lot of health issues. We know that most health issues start with either too much oxidation, too much inflammation. So it's always about a balance. And that's what redox molecules, that's their job, is to keep this homeostasis in the body. So the oxidants are kind of like the fire alarm, if you will. If there's too much oxidation, they're going to send a signal out to the immune system that says, hey, there's a problem here. You need to come down and check it out. And then the reductants, they often are what comes into, they donate electrons. So they turn on things in your body like glutathione and different master antioxidants to bring balance and to help with the repair of whatever's being damaged.
You know, when
At
you
a high level, that's what that is.
yeah, no, I got you. No, that's an awesome explanation. Thanks for that. You know, when you think about this, it's like we're out here, you're out there, we're out there. So many others are now out there trying to really help people wrap their head around that we have a breakthrough in our hands. And that's a lot of times that's just a hard thing for people to wrap their heads, that I'm holding a breakthrough right now, that I could be right now holding the breakthrough of our lifetime in my hands right now. And I think, do you find that people are still having a super hard time processing that? And then also too, how do you help them, you know, get to the point of, like, you know, forget about whether they're customers selling it or whatever, but getting to the point of understanding what this is really about more so?
I think it is still somewhat, I don't want to use the word hurdle because that's negative. I do think it's still so very new to people, even though the science, you know, redox biochemistry has been around since the late 90s in the world of science and research and medicine. But lay people like us, and even doctors, if they went to college, medical school before, say, 2005, they never heard of these things.
Exactly.
Right? So I think that's part of that, that difficulty in getting people to understand that this is a breakthrough.
Is it being taught now? I'm sorry, is it being taught now in medical schools?
Yes, I have a niece in medical school, and she has learned about redox molecules.
Are they teaching about it?
That's excellent.
Are they teaching about it reluctantly because their hands being forced from Western medicine, or are they teaching about it because they think they need to?
That's a great question. So redox molecules, remember, ASEA didn't create redox molecules. They exist in our body. So they're part of our physiology. That's why they're being taught.
Okay.
You bring that bottle into a medical school, then they're probably going to be like, oh no, that can't possibly be real. You could not possibly have stabilized them. But the redox themselves, that's being studied. There's tens of thousands of peer-reviewed research on, you know, NIH's public database about redox molecules, not about ASEA specifically. But now you've got universities around the world, including Harvard, who are using ASEA's product to do their research because it's the only way you can get stabilized redox molecules.
That's
so
really
now it's starting to get out there.
Right. When you think about this one company with the blue bottle figured out the magic formula to stabilize these molecules, and they are the only ones, not in the United States, on the globe,
Yes.
that have been able to do that. that in itself is miraculous.
You know, we've been talking, Lynn, for a couple of years, and just in the world we're in, right? You know, it's like we're always interviewing people, and there's just been such a movement of like, hey, one day there's this technology that's going to come from the heavens that'll do exactly what this has been describing. So when this came in our path and we actually got a chance to try it nearly 6-7 months now, it's been nearly 6-7 months ago, it really felt, acts, and looked, well, you know, even looks like kind of like the Palladians, the aliens, but it described what's been spoke about for 2 years from a lot of people saying, look, there's this technology, you know, now
The quantum technology.
the quantum
that's coming
technology
out.
that's
We're waiting
coming
for
out
this
there. We're
quantum
waiting for this.
technology.
So it was always like, well, I don't know, whatever, it's never going to come out here. And then and I heard about it before too. I just didn't know at the level of what it was. I mean, I think I treated it like maybe a lot of people do, which is another lotion, potion, or shake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? But it's not. It's in and of itself. It's just another category. Yep. Wow.
What's interesting is because it is redox molecules, there's no like ingredients, there's no way to reverse engineer what this is and how the company figured out how to stabilize them. And I think that's one of the reasons that we stand alone for 12 years. No one has been able to come up with that algorithm to create it. It's to me, I agree with you. It is, redox is the energy that really controls all life. Nothing happens in life, anywhere, in us, animals, plants, without a redox reaction. What I think is miraculous about this is not only the fact that it is the energy that animates all of us, right? But it also, how do I even say this? It's given us a way to address health at a level we've never, ever been able to address health at before, right? At literally a molecular level.
Right.
Nothing, everything is all about treating symptoms. You know, I've studied a lot of ancient, like Ayurveda and ancient Chinese medicine and things like that. They're all about treating the root, but they really have never had a way to do that. And here we get this gift that allows us to do that.
It's amazing.
At a molecular
you know what's so
level,
cool when I talk to people about this, and this is unique in and of itself. So there's the physical health benefits, as you mentioned, but so many people are starting to call now. They're like, look, you know, I just want to get that connection. I want to feel that. I want to feel that connection with something. And it's interesting. So they look at this now as like more than just another, give me some relief, but a real soul connection, like really like something that connects them to their, whatever their version of that is for them. But more and more people I'm finding are doing that. Are you getting anything on your side on that part of it?
Absolutely. I work, obviously I've been in teaching yoga and spirituality and meditation, and meditators go deeper. I mean, there is, it's just this, there's a gal who's in quantum medicine, and she said that this is taking our cells into a crystalline state.
That's what I feel like is happening.
Pineal gland, it's affecting, and we all know, I mean, people who are familiar with, say, like Joe Dispenza's work and things like that, that is just critical for that divine connection. And this is impacting all of that.
I think it's really, like we had mentioned, the elixir of the gods, but I also believe it's the gateway to the pineal, and it's decalcifying that pineal gland. And that's why everybody that's on it is having these incredible spiritual experiences. And Danielle had mentioned maybe like a month ago, and she's like, I've never seen what's going on with you guys and your team of people. She goes, something happened a while ago with it's very similar. And here's the experience that we're having, Lynn, that obviously we are spiritually raw. So people that listen are in the spiritual genre of all levels, all sectors, and each and every one of them say the same exact thing. I knew before I got it intuitively, this was what my body has been crying for. This is what my body needs. And in our team, our downline, people, the customers and people that are also sharing it are all having these miraculous spiritual experiences but fast. It's coming very, very quickly for them. And Danielle had said, because the only time I ever saw this ever happen before was there was a large group of, I guess, people that were using it or taking it, and they were all praying. And they had prayed all at the same time, and they all had a very uplifted, they had a quick experience with it. And there has to be something to that.
I would agree. From a meditation background, anytime you bring a group of higher elevated, higher vibrational people together, that's just going to create even more vibration. And then when you add this in, it's almost like it accelerates it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
So, I just, talking to like a lot of readers and spiritual guides who people go to, they rely on for advice and everything, right? And I got to tell you something. I always kind of feel pretty tapped in, tuned in, but my discernment is at a much different level. And I know that. I can say that with absolute confidence. Like my discernment meter is tight. You know what I mean? I know. And I know that I know. And I talk to some of the readers and spiritual guides that are doing this, and they're just not there. They even come to me. They're like, you know what? My readings are so much better, Jay. They're like, my advice is better. I'm more confident. My clients, I'm seeing them. They're seeing me, and these are people that are well known and already in their own right, very, very, sought after. But they're like, this is just another level. They're like, I'm better because of it. And someone was explaining it to me. It's like they're like a lot of people in that world. They get to a height, and like any profession, you feel like, I'm good now. I got it. I made it. You know what I mean? And you don't. I personally, I'm like, look, you're climbing or you're falling. You know what I mean? There's no in between, right? And whatever profession you're in. And I think you need an edge. And so I always reach out to our sisters and brothers out there that are in the business of guiding people at a spiritual level,
Yes.
Whether that be as a psychic or whether that be a guide or whatever that may be, to, get your game on.
Mm-hmm.
Get your game on and really do it, not only for yourself, I would say do it for the people that count on you the most. I mean, you know what I mean? I know it's a very bold thing to say, but I think it's almost a responsibility though. What do you think?
No, I agree, because it does. I do think we're constantly evolving. You're never done with this journey. And if you're already in an evolved position, what can take you even further? Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the things that can. And I agree with you. It's not about you. It's about the people you're here to serve and to impact.
Yeah. I mean, I know if I was looking for some advice like that and I saw this in someone's office, I would be like, I'm in. And especially knowing what I know, because I knew that they're committed to that next level of,
Yes.
You know what I mean? That really, that they're committed to the next level of their growth there. So this is great. So this has been absolutely fantastic having you here. You are, it's amazing. I just, love your spirit.
Well, you can see the apple never falls far from the tree.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, you're great. You're great to talk to. You
It's
really
right
are.
there.
And the support you're giving us, and you can see Danielle. I mean, just the creation of her. So thanks for creating that angel. You know what I mean? Really, it's really been a blessing to so many of us. And before you love and leave us, words that you would say to people that are looking at this seriously, and as someone who's been there, as a mother, as a wife, as a businesswoman. I mean, what would you say to them, at this moment, as they watch you?
I would say always stay open-minded. Do not underestimate the power of what this is at every single level of your being. Emotional, spiritual, physical. I mean, every level is impacted by something like this. So stay open-minded. And if you are moved to share it from your heart authentically, because that is the only way that you're really going to bring this to the world and impact others. You have to be real.
Okay. Yeah, I already see it.
Said.
Everybody's going to want to interview you now. I can already see it. All right, everybody. Thanks. God bless you, Lynn Matthews. Thank you very much for your service, your dedication, and what you're doing to help all of our lives be better. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us, as you always do. The links will be in the description below. Reach out to us. There'll be contact information. We're happy to help you get to the other side so you can be the best for you and the ones that count on you the most. We'll see you next time.
And together, with Lynn's help, we are turning the universal key to global harmony and creating a unified world. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Many blessings. We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called The Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity. We are living in the most unbelievable times, some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks, and God bless Patriots worldwide.